All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for some reason we got a small crowd today, which is fine. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy yourselves. Diana, hello. Victoria, I love the logo there. That looks real similar to the one of the ones I use for one of my brands.
Thank you.
Very cool. I love it. All about the Phoenix. This is one of my clients, one of their kids did this for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. It's my favorite because when you go through hell and you come and you get back up from the ashes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what. So this is your first high performance call, but typically that's how I end my calls, telling people to do that.
Sweet.
Look, I got a little Harry Potter Phoenix on my desk.
I love it.
So, all right, guys. Do we have Kim? V, I'm not sure. Probably. Let's get email from them. Do what you can. All right. So let's get kicked off. So if you guys have camera available, love to see you on. As we go along, a lot of you guys know this. Feel free to interject, raise a hand, offer some thoughts, type into the chat. Let me know how many of you guys are still kind of this week we talked a little bit about your morning routine. How many of you guys got up and you spent some time in silence over the last 24 hours, a few minutes, hopefully. You did your super hydration early. We talked about some exercise, getting things going. Yes, no, good, hopefully. Yeah, good. All right. I'm a little over half a gallon in this morning. So I'd spent quite a while already in the restroom making that happen. We're all adults here. Okay. So let's dive in. All right, guys. Appreciate you being on. I know we're going to have people coming in the whole time. Keep an eye on waiting room like you always do. Just keep rolling in. If you guys have Rita, if you can't do video, that's okay. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to be sharing some. We're going to talk about joint ventures. Okay, joint ventures, partnerships, referral programs, getting to do that. A lot of you guys are coming in, and in our business strategy calls, we're going to talk a little bit about traffic and getting leads. I've shared some with you guys. So in different times, I'll talk about this a little bit, but the first time I tried to do something online was selling Disney products. And I went straight for Google pay-per-click ads. PPC can work great if you know what you're doing. If you don't, it's not super effective. I had no clue. Just because you get traffic doesn't mean it's going to convert. Having targeted traffic, understanding your target market, understanding your avatar, really knowing your niche. There's a reason that we talk about having a niche and everything else. So I want to talk about that. So would everybody like to learn how to kind of create a relationship with someone that can lead to more leads and higher revenue? Does that sound okay for everybody? All right. So here's why we do this, guys. And this is why these types of funnels become so important. How many of you in your regular work, in your careers outside of working online, how many of you guys have ever been to a networking event or a Chamber of Commerce event? How many of you guys have ever done this? Yeah? Okay.
I've done it.
How many of you have heard of or been a part of a company called BNI, Business Network International? Anybody heard of that?
I heard about that, and I'm a member of them, but I haven't attended any of the meetings.
Okay. Well, if you're a member, you haven't attended any meetings, there's probably a very good chance you've been kicked out because they're all about attending every single meeting, right?
Yeah.
So BNI, Business Network International, is a group where you're supposed to go weekly. It's a great program to network with other businesses. You pass referrals. I was a member of BNI. I was a area director in Central Florida for BNI. I was a trainer for them. I did some stuff. One of the big things they talk about is joint ventures and power teams and referral networks and everything. And what I want to do is kind of share some of those concepts, but also look at it online. Most of the businesses, guys, that you're going to be out there going after, whether you're targeting online marketers like digital businesses, or you're targeting a service-based business, a plumber, a roofer, a landscaper, financial planning, mortgage, realtor, I don't care, whatever it is, most of them exceed at what they do or excel at what they do. They're good at what they do, hopefully, but they don't know how to market. They don't know how to get leads. That's what this is about, right? Most businesses around the world are good at their business. They're not good marketers. So what do? They hire a social media person. They bring on some young kid right out of college that went to the university that learned how to be a marketer. I'll tell you this right now, most marketing degrees are crap, right? As far as actual marketing, right? There's a difference. I need you guys to understand this. There is a big difference between advertising and marketing, right? Does that make sense? There's a difference between advertising and marketing, okay, on a large scale. Now, running ads is a different thing. And yes, I'm getting into semantics, but I want you guys to kind of hear what I'm saying. The purpose of marketing is to help someone understand and come to both a logical and an emotional decision that what you have or what you offer, whatever that product or service is, makes sense for them. Okay, that's the purpose of marketing. It's a conversation that you have with someone where you're taking them through this conversation, right? And so in marketing, you're helping them come to an emotional and a logical decision to purchase whatever it is that you have. Advertising, in the big sense, is typically brand awareness type activities, right? So a lot of times the regular marketing degrees or people that when they hire a marketer, most of the time they may understand advertising, but direct response, which is kind of what we're doing with a sales funnel and getting people to take action and call to action, is it's a fully different process, right? Does that concept make sense to everybody, what I'm talking about? And it's important because you've got people you've got a doctor who's a doctor and they're good at, body stuff, health stuff, interacting with social media and a call to action and a headline that is different than a brochure is different, right? Plumbers are great at cleaning the pipes. Realtors are great at selling a house. Marketing is different. And just getting their face out there. Realtors are good at, like, I'm putting my face out there. Look, taking someone through a process, a sales process, a marketing process, where they come to an emotional and logical decision to buy something from them because they know them, like them, and trust them. That's different than, someone just sending out a postcard and it's got their picture on it with a house. I sell a house in your neighborhood. Are you guys understanding kind of the difference in what we're talking about? So if someone's going to buy from you, they have to know, like, and trust you. That's where it comes from. In order to know, like, and trust you, a lot of that comes from credibility. Some of that credibility is going to come from the content that you put out or that way that you word your ads and how you direct them. And then also you've got relationships, being able to borrow credibility. Okay. Now I'm doing kind of a crash course. I'm going to fit as much as I can into about a 20-30 minute call. I'm going to talk about joint ventures and partnerships here. If you guys like kind of what we go over, then I'll extend some of it into next week because I want to be able to do that. But am I making sense as far as marketing and what you need to do? Know, like, and trust in order to sell. That's the only reason people buy something from you, is because they know, like, and trust the source enough. Now, if it's the first time they see something, they're going to know, like, and trust you just because you excel at marketing copy. So if your marketing copy is on point, even if it's the very first time someone is seeing something, if it speaks to them enough, you may bridge that gap, right? If your market copy is on point enough and it's specific enough to their niche and what they're going after, you may bridge that gap in the trust department for them to take action, right? That's why we talk about understanding your niche, understanding your target market, because the content that you're putting out is going to speak to them, right? We don't want to be the politician that, and look, we're in the middle of the election. So the politician's in front of one group and they say one thing, they go in front of another group, they say something else, they go in front of another group and say, I never said that. This is what I actually mean. And then, all around. And then you go, what the hell is it? What are they thinking? What do they want to do? What are they talking about? You don't want your marketing to be that. You're not trying to be a politician, you're marketing. You're trying to be very specific to your niche, right? Does that make sense, everybody? We good there? Okay. So why are joint ventures important? How can they help, right? Joint ventures allow you to borrow credibility. So you start to bridge that gap between know, like, and trust. There's a reason that a lot of you guys are here, right? Bob Proctor and Blake have a great joint venture. They have a joint partnership. Bob says, I don't do that. Blake does that exceptionally well. You should check that out. Right? You guys have that same opportunity. Okay, let me pull up make sure I got my slides up so I can show you guys a handful of things here. Oh, I'm on the wrong slide. Joint ventures and partnerships, power teams. All right, let's dive in. Joint ventures and power teams. What are we talking about here? All right. Guys, every single business that claims they have a marketing system that actually works, shouldn't you be willing to step up and prove it before asking anyone to invest a cent in the program? Yeah, so this goes to, like Matthew, something you'd brought up the other day. Leverage this. Now, if this goes into that partnership, right? So if you're asking someone to refer something, prove to them, show them that it'll work. Well, how do you do that, right? Creating a joint venture. What is the joint venture? So how do you decide if you want a joint venture? This is what you need to do first, and you guys can write this down. This is for your business. Do I want to do this? Determine your need for it, right? Do I need it? Can it help me get leads faster? Yeah, it'd probably be good. So define your business objective. Now, guys, I'm probably going to fill this out. There's a chance I may do a couple more slides on this on another day next week, and I can get you the slides if you really want it, but I still recommend you take some notes. Defining your business objective is important because when you're talking with someone, you're trying to create a partnership in any way, shape, or form, right? This is kind of your 30-second, 60-second commercial. This is your elevator pitch. This is if you're talking with someone, if you get a chance to speak with them, or if you're messaging them and they say, what do you do? You're able to define it. Know what your business purpose is. And it's not just, I'm an online marketer. It's Paul says, I have a financial planning business, but my purpose is to help other financial planners around North America learn how to market their business utilizing social media as a powerful tool to generate clients. Awesome. Can you show me how to do it, right? I know my business objective. Does that make sense, guys? Everybody good there? Let me pull up the chat just in case anybody says something. Okay. So, research potential joint venture partners. I'm going to talk about this in a second, but you've got to be able to point some of these out. You got to get past this idea of this can help anybody and everybody. Yeah, sure, it can. But if you can't get specific enough, then it's going to be hard for you because you got to be able to speak their language, right? If you're talking with a potential joint venture partner, you've got to be able to speak their language. And if you don't, you're lost. Questions about that, what I'm talking about? Anybody? If you guys have questions, drop it in the chat. I can't see because I'm sharing my screen. I can't see everybody's raised hand. So if you've got a question, then please drop it in the chat so I can call on you or you come off of mute and say, hey, Andrew. All right. Now, networking with other companies. This is a great way to do it. Guess what? We're in freaking quarantine. So where do we go to network right now with other companies, guys?
Andrew.
Yeah.
This is Eric. I'm on the call, but I got to keep working.
Okay.
I deliver for FedEx, so yeah.
Man, you're good.
Makes a lot of sense. I sold real estate for 10 years, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good. Yeah. So Dilip's saying networking through LinkedIn and Facebook. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Joining groups, guys. And look,
This
there's
is
groups
Eric.
on LinkedIn and there's groups on Facebook. Did you have a question, Eric?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, LinkedIn or Facebook, right? Join groups. Add value, add content, right? Don't be a lurker. Provide some value. Schedule follow-up meetings. Determine if the two companies are a good fit once you've had kind of that initial contact, right? A joint venture, I've talked about, so last week we talked about 2xing to 10x, right? How it's easier to 10x when you look at really scaling leverage. Every single time I've been able to leverage or scale anything in my professional life, when I had my clean and restoration company, working online, all of these, it's come from joint ventures. Personally, right? This is my philosophy. Work smarter, not harder. Take the best tool that I can find and then find a way to leverage the hell out of it. And the best way to leverage at the beginning is leveraging someone else's audience. How am I going to do that unless I've got something to add to it, right? So next step here. This is something very simple that I will send to somebody, and I can provide this slide, but this is straight from a landing page that I've created, guys. And so this is kind of next step. Maybe you don't do this right at the beginning, okay? I'm getting you guys, I've talked over and over and over again. It's not just about your first 30, 60, 90 days. I want you looking past that. I want you to think about what's possible, right? This is direct from a landing page that I have created I've got a VSL on there. It's the only reason I've got that landing page is for joint ventures. I talk to them about partnering up in different ways. Okay. This is straight from that. Hey, I created this program to provide your prospects and clients with the perfect combination of done for you marketing resources, tools, and support. Here's what I help them do. Right? So I'm explaining to the joint venture the value that their customer is going to get. I'm not just saying, give me your customers. Now, there's a lot more. I just pulled this out as like a highlight so you guys can kind of see. Right? I'm telling them, look, I'm not just selling them something. I'm helping them generate more revenue. That's the only reason I'm doing this. And I know how to do it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for other businesses. I think your customers would love you for it. Okay. Now, you don't just go to someone and say, hey, give me your customers. That doesn't work. Hey, I've got a great product. You should send me your customers. Would you offer this to your customers? You don't do that, right? The most valuable thing, every single one of you guys. So here, we've got, how many of you guys, by show of hands, how many of you guys already own a business? Okay. Now, I'm looking for a specific answer. Let me see if anybody's on my wavelength. I'm sending out. If you remember Ghostbusters and, he's got the cards here. Let me see. I'm sending out the vibes. What's the most valuable asset that you have as a business owner? Or one of the top assets? What's one of the most valuable assets that you have as a business owner? Go ahead. Anybody? Paul, you're on mute. Dilip, you, yep. Customers.
Your customers.
Right?
Yeah, clients.
Your customers.
Yeah.
If you've been in business for a little while, it's going to be your customer list.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I have a business that fits with your customers, right? Paul, you got customers that come to you for financial planning, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I was, let's say you didn't offer, end of life plan, like wills, right? Typically financial planners have, life insurance, but let's say wills, family trust, that kind of thing. If I'm an attorney, I'm not going to, I walk into your office, say, hey, so I'm an attorney, I do wills and, end of life planning and things. How about I send an email to your list and I'll offer them this? You're not going to be just like, oh, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. Here you go. Here's my list.
No.
Here's people that I've curated for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Go for it. Good luck, brother. Tell them I sent you. Right? And I say that because a lot of people, they start their online business and they go, oh, so-and-so's got a list. Matthew's got a pretty big list. Oh, I've seen him active in other things. He must be marketing a lot. Matthew, how about you? Would you send this to your list? Like I'll give you an affiliate link and you can do that. Right? You'd be like, oh, okay. Pound sand. Right? And that's what happens most of the time. See, people come in and they want a mentor, they want a joint venture, they want a partnership, they want to build a power team, and they add nothing to it other than gimme, gimme, gimme. Don't be that person, okay? We're building businesses long-term. Part of that is not just, I want you guys to have a successful funnel that you can generate leads that turn into cash buyers, right, that are buying that product. But if you build this right, this can be an asset that you can leverage in so many different ways, guys. You really, really can. And I hope that point is kind of popping in there. So don't approach just asking for something. One thing to do is send them some sales or become their client, right? Pay them something. Even if it's, they got a $49, they got a $20 book. They got this, they got that. Buy something first, right? Hey, I'm your client. I've got this. And then just add value for a while. This is relationship building, right? And we're doing this is a little bit differently than just straight up marketing. Okay. Because building a joint venture, building a relationship, how many you guys may or may not have heard about it, but there's a book called Whale Hunting. I'm all about getting as much volume as possible, getting every single sale that I can as possible, every 7:30, all of these things. I want as many of them as I can get. All of them. Bring them all to me. Give me every customer. If I can build a handful of quality joint ventures, quality partnerships, I'll crush all day long. These take longer to build though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So learn who they are, learn what's around, follow through. So once you've made contact, keep that up, right? If you tell them you're going to follow up, then don't be annoying and entitled. Make sure that you deliver value, okay? Now, like I said, I've got a whole plan worked out with this. I've developed it over time. You guys can do the same thing. You've got an amazing tool here if you're willing to leverage it, but get to know it. And then what you need to do, the best way to do that is to start to understand what a power team would be, because a power team is who's going to fit into that joint venture, right? These are the type of people you have a relationship with and you can build a referral relationship with. So quick roll around the room. Power team. If I am let's just do digital marketing, right? I'm going to market to digital marketers. I'm going to market to people that want to market online. Who would fit into a power team within those digital marketers? Who would be other resources that may deal with the same type of individual? What do you guys think that I could work with? Anybody and everybody.
We could team up with website builders or SEO specialists, people that don't do funnels.
Yep. Website building, totally different, guys. Sometimes people think it's the same thing. It's not. People that do SEO, totally different. Yeah. Payment gateways is possible, but it can be difficult just because that's typically just an online service that's kind of next level. Graphics people, graphic artists. Yep, absolutely. A lot of those people will do work for, people will build out a website, but then don't know how to set up a funnel. Good. Right. Animation. Yeah. Autoresponders. Autoresponder is a tool that everybody uses, but it's typically one that doesn't interact as much with the end user. Right. Victoria, but you are right. Victoria, you've got a website that was built out. It could be photographers. It could be accountants. It could be attorneys, right? Business attorneys, corporate attorneys. It could be, there's so many different ones. And this is just like that one certain niche, right? You look at if your target market is going to be photographers, then who would they go with? It could be, makeup artists, wedding planners, florists, like people that are constantly dealing with the same types of clients. Matthew, you were about to say something. Sorry. You good? Rob, were you going to say something?
I suppose copywriters, people that, would write content for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's something. So here's that thing. I can send business to them. They can send business to me. Right. And depending on how you roll it, right? Like I white label some of those services. So I'm giving them money. I'm giving them, there's different ways to do it when you're online now, guys. It's not just, hey, I'm going to refer them straight to you. You may keep all that stuff in-house and just white label those services so you're making money on top, and that's a possible way of doing it. There's different ways to build relationships. You just need to be strategic about it. But the best way to do that is to understand fully who your target audience is. If you understand who your target audience is, you know who they're doing business with, you know who they like, what kind of magazine they read, who they're watching online, what kind of food they eat, right? Like dive deep. If you're totally unsure what niche is going to be, start with the type of things that you like, that you enjoyed, so it's easier to think about. But if you can create that avatar, then you can think about all of those people in that circle. And what you need to do is kind of as an exercise. Let me see how I've got this last one set up. So this is kind of a power team, talent collaboration, contact sphere. So this is the contact sphere is the other people, businesses, et cetera, that they're in contact with, similar business lines, sharing the market knowledge. this is kind of what I talk about when I say, like, I don't need my slice. I don't need a bigger percentage. I just want my overall pizza to be bigger, right? There's competition out there, guys, but some of the best referral partners that I've ever had have been my direct competition. What everyone else would say is your competition sometimes ends up being someone they don't want to work with or can't work with, or they're overworked. And so it comes to you, right? Understand that. So here's your activity, guys. I need you to sit down this weekend. I need you to think about your target audience. I need you to dive deep into that niche, and I need you to think about the businesses that they interact with, so you can identify some joint ventures or power teams that you can do. Because if I come to you, Paul, if I walk in, and I'm using his example, and I'm not trying to promote him as a financial planner, guys. It's just an easy one to roll with. But if I walk in and it's that first time, and I say, listen, I know you're a financial planner. You don't know me yet, but I want to get to know you. I want to sit down and talk to you about, but I think I have a good idea what type of business you do. Now, listen, I do end of life planning. I do wills and estates and things. But what I've also done, I've got a CPA that I work with that works with high income individuals, high net worth individuals. That's all they work with, is business owners and high net worth individuals. And then I also have, along with that, I have a realtor that I work with, and all they do is deal in luxury homes in these communities in the area. And along with that, I have a very high-end personal chef and personal trainer that also deals with those kinds of people. And then I have this service and that service. And all we deal with are people that have a personal net worth of $500K and above. And we've kind of developed a relationship where we're passing referrals back and forth. And I'd like to talk to you about the opportunity to work together and see if you'd be a good fit. Is that something you think you might be interested in? And if I walk in with something like that, with a power team like that, Paul, and I say, hey, listen, let's have a conversation. You may not hand me your customer list right away, but you'd be open to talking, right?
Yep.
Especially if I did it by showing up on a webinar that you just hosted, or if I showed up at a networking event that you did, right? So we're not going to live networking events anymore. We're going to a webinar that they hosted. We're joining their group, whatever. Hey, I joined the group because I saw you, and I love your stuff, but I'm here because I've got this. Would a conversation be interesting to you? At that point, now I've got something. Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking of joint ventures in different ways. I mean, I've partnered with people on different things, and it was more like I had some skills they were lacking, to get a project going. So in this case, like if you don't have there's the kind of joint venture that I see, say, between like OMG Machines and Luke McGuire, like two digital marketing agencies. They've got huge lists. Right. So really, they're just kind of sharing each other's lists to promote each other's products. So, but what you're kind of like at this stage of where we're at, what you're kind of saying is, don't just market your target client. Look where your target client is doing business with other people and see if you can create a partnership with them of some sort. But we don't really have a list yet. So really, we're providing a service that will benefit them.
Yeah. And so maybe you help them do their Facebook profile, or you just, but finding a way to benefit them without walking in and saying, I've got 5,000 names I want to mail your information to. If you don't have that right away, then that's okay. So even if you're not going after the digital marketers, right, you're going after hopefully a specific niche. There are other businesses that may not be digital marketers, but that have customers that could benefit. Am I making sense, guys? Right?
So
find
like
someone that's dealing with,
can I give an example? Like, so if you were targeting swim instructors, and so you kind of look for companies or places that swim instructors might hang out. That might be like, you might go to like a swimsuit company, right? Or like a supply company or something, because they have tons of those people on their list. And you might try and negotiate something that would benefit them so they could get more swim instructors or something like that. So you could try and give them value.
Yeah. So you're targeting landscapers. So what am I going to do? I'm going to reach out to, hardware stores in an area, or, dealerships that maybe sell into, like, it's maybe pockets of 50 to 100 to 500 clients at a time, guys. But you've got a nation or larger that you can deal with. And so if I can now create a list of, 50 suppliers that have 100 clients, right? Now I'm at 5,000 possible individuals. And then you got this is looking long term, right?
Andrew,
we're talking building a business over a year, 2 years, 5 years. Yes, sir.
This is Eric. Listen, I'm just speaking from experience because of being in real estate and understanding the value of knowing a mortgage guy, knowing a lawyer, knowing inspectors, knowing home inspectors. I see where you're going with this, and it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, well, so you look at it like this, guys. So because I know a couple of you have thought about targeting realtors. So what would I do? I'd go after mortgage brokers because they got a huge list of realtors, right? It's tremendous. I mean, you're looking for things like that. And then if I get 50 mortgage brokers or 100 mortgage over time, this doesn't happen right away. But let's say over a year or two, I've cultivated 100 different mortgage brokers around the country. Now I can start to add mortgage brokers to that, which is an easy fit with realtors. But 100 mortgage brokers is going to have thousands and thousands of realtors around the country. And then someone else comes and says, hey, I see your stuff all over the place, right? I see your stuff and I'd like to target some realtors too. Can we do that? And now you create a joint venture and they're paying you to promote their product, right? I'm talking long-term, guys. Like don't cut down opportunities that may be available down the road. But this is also a way to go out and generate some revenue for leads because you want to bridge that gap between know, like, and trust. You want to help them get to know you sooner and get that started, right? All I'm trying to do is get you guys to expand your thought process a little bit of what a partnership may look like, where you can get leads. Yes, organic and everything else, but getting into a group that may be featuring those types of individuals. And then how can you add value there besides just, bombarding them and saying, hey, buy my stuff. Excuse me.
One more quick question on that. So I kind of, one thing that I look at a lot is distribution partners, right? Like for example, in the hotel business, if we're a small non-brand recognition hotel in the middle of nowhere. So for me to market in Germany, say, is going to cost me millions of dollars and I might not get one room night out of it. However, if I partner with booking.com, I get free advertising. I only pay when a room is booked and paid for, and not when they book. I pay after they leave. So it's guaranteed, right? I only pay if I make money. So the commission for me is a no-brainer. I do it all day long. It's cheap, right? Yeah. So, but thinking about this product, like let's say, the product we have, we're kind of selling how to learn how to transform your social profile so that you can generate free leads.
Right.
Let's say like, just using the swim instructor one again, just for kicks. Let's say you're like, well, I know where swim instructors come from. They come from these swim instructor courses, but those guys don't teach their swim instructors how to market themselves. No. So I'm going to go to them and say, hey, as a value add to your swim instructor course, why don't you offer people this marketing package so they can learn how to market themselves? Mm-hmm. For example, right?
Yeah. And then you split a commission with them.
You split a commission.
Be willing to split it if you're doing a joint venture, guys.
Yeah.
Be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a no-brainer for some, but some people may not have ever, paid that referral fee. And don't call it a referral. Just say, hey, I'll split commission with you. I'll split a profit with you, X amount, because it's their customer.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
So just be willing to do it because it's free advertising for you.
I guess what I was wondering is what would just prevent them from just doing it themselves? And then basically
because they don't want to because it's the same reason. Look, you will have some people, and if that's the case, then you say, great, I'll help you get signed up with a full partner program and you get paid as an affiliate. Maybe it's just a one-off, but it's better than losing out. But the point is
Andrew, it's a very small percentage, and I'm speaking from experience simply because they don't have time. They don't have time.
They're running their own business. They don't want to add that on. That's a whole other thing. That's not their specialty. That's yours, and they can just get money from you doing it. Great, right? And now occasionally you'll have the fool that's sitting in the cash flow quadrant that's real strong in that S quadrant that says I want to do everything. So on that note, go ahead, Paul.
You know what? I'm sorry, but you know what? Everybody has time as long they're getting compensated. Trust me on it.
Well, yeah. So they've got the time and they'll refer, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't want to learn a new skill and then have to do this and then fulfillment on the back end and everything else.
Yeah.
You're walking in with it done and just say, hey guys, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to
I will
take care of that
Look
and
after
I'll give
that,
you
yeah.
some money for it.
Yeah.
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 So
Awesome.
Sorry, I just had
on
a
that
couple of quick
note-
things. Sorry, I just had a couple of quick things. I know we are out of time. So one, I had a question which I'll probably ask you next time.
Yeah.
And the second one is, so this presentation is awesome. Is it okay for you to share it with us, or is it something?
yeah,
like
I have a
confidential or something
feeling,
like that?
would you guys like a little bit more in this on Power Teams, identifying, conversing, everything else?
Yeah.
Can we do?
At least I would.
continuous
I don't
next
know about
week?
the
Okay,
others.
And then I'll share it afterwards. So I'm going to
Yes,
cut it
yes,
right now. 'Cause
yes,
I can go
yes.
on. I can go on like, cause I've done these for like, I 12 hours worth of content here in 30 minutes. So we can go much deeper. I'll have some worksheets, some different things. For right now, guys, I'll get deeper into identifying who your target audience is. And then start to think about the types of businesses that buy from them or they buy from. Okay. Types of businesses that buy. We'll start with that they buy from. Who are they going to go buy from? Start there. Okay. Create that list. And if you throw your hands up right away and say, I can't think about it, smack yourself a little bit and say, be an adult, get creative, sit down and look. We have this amazing thing called Google. Every single one of you guys is capable, right? So start to think. We're going to get into it. Have an amazing weekend. Go out, kick some butt, be fantastic, be safe. If you haven't voted yet, please vote here in the States. If you're international, then just be amazing. Hopefully none of you guys are locked down in Paris right now. I don't even know. 2020, what are we doing? Take care of yourselves, find some silence, get working out, get exercising, be fantastic, rise up, rise from the ashes, fly like the phoenixes you are. Love you guys. I will talk with you Monday. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Andrew. That was awesome.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.